This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. So as everyone probably knows, the Democrat Party right now is scrambling and trying to figure out what to do for 2026, what to do for 2028 and beyond, because let's be honest here, they got crushed in 2024, at least at the presidential level. It was not pretty whatsoever. It was a disaster. And you would think that after getting crushed this badly across the board, you would think that, okay, it's time for the Democrat Party to make a change, to try to figure out what went wrong and try to learn from their mistakes. You would think that would be the obvious choice. But we all know that this is the Democrat Party, and they refuse to learn their lesson no matter what. And now it's happening yet again. The Democrat Party has demonstrated that they have no clue what they're doing, and in fact, are going to triple down on the same crap they've been doing for years. Look at this. They're now hyping up Gavin Newsom to be their next Kamala Harris. Are you serious right now? Gavin Newsom is currently the resist liberals favorite for 2028 because he's saying some mean stuff about Orange Man. And now they're bringing back the Brat Summer crap from 2024 and applying it to Gavin Newsom. Look at this. I'm not going to show the edit for copyright reasons, but now you have these morons on the left pushing and promoting Gavin Newsom as the next Kamala Harris. He's a brat. No, not that. He's actually now the quote-unquote king of America. What? You're going to do the same crap you did back in 24 that clearly did not work? Remember that? They try to hype up Brat Summer. Oh, Kamala Harris, she's a brat. She's going to win in a landslide. How did that go? They're doing the same crap, just instead of Harris, they're doing it for Gavin Newsom. And they're saying, well, people on TikTok love him now. We gotta support him. He's a king of America. Which, by the way, I thought 5 minutes ago, this party was saying that we are the party of democracy. We oppose kings. Remember the No Kings protest? Now suddenly, the morons are now pushing Gavin Newsom as the quote-unquote king of America. What? You see the problem here? They don't even remember what they were saying 5 minutes ago. They're so delusional, they're so out of touch with reality, that they're saying the complete opposite thing that they were saying 5 minutes ago. They were saying, we are against kings. But now, oh, Gavin Newsom, he's now the king of America. Now, this doesn't mean that Gavin Newsom's going to win the nomination. I think there's a lot of issues with that. But personally, I hope he wins a nomination. Go right ahead. Pick Gavin Newsom and see what happens. Even a lot of Democrats they realize that, oh, wait a minute. This guy would be awful. Gavin Newsom has no electoral appeal. Why the hell they're pushing him? I don't know. But there are many on the left that realized, oh, crap. If we run Gavin Newsom, it would be worse than even Kamala Harris. Because at least with Harris, you could argue, well, she's a woman and she might have some appeal to black voters, maybe. What does Gavin Newsom have appeal to? Who? Outside of people in California, which, again, even compared to California standards, he did awful in 2022. Who does he appeal to? Do you think he's going to appeal to the rural working class voter in Ohio or Pennsylvania? Hell no. So now they're promoting Gavin Newsom. Alright, so clearly, a lot of these influencers or whatever, they've learned nothing. They're just tripling on the same crap. Just replace Kamala Harris with Gavin Newsom. And more than likely, in a month or two, they're going to find another candidate. This is what they've done this year. Every single month this year, they find a random person like AOC, Bernie Sanders, whoever, and hype them up as the future of the Democrat Party, and then 5 minutes later, get rid of them. Ignore that they ever existed, and move on to somebody different. Right now, we're back to Gavin Newsom. It's unbelievable. But the funny part is, or I should say really the sad part is, it's not just these random influencers that think they did everything right in 2024. They think, oh, 2024 was a good election for us. Yeah, you now have Democrats, not just random influencers, but state party chairs saying 2024 was actually a good election for us. Look at this. This is a chair of the North Carolina Democrat Party, a swing state, more of a Republican state, but still. She is now pushing this idea that, oh, Democrats did a great job in North Carolina in 24. You know, we did a great job. They are patting themselves in the back for losing North Carolina by 3. You can't make this up. They lose North Carolina, and they celebrate the fact that they barely won a bunch of down ballot races. Really? We are doing this crap again where, oh, we actually did a good thing in 24. Just the orange man is so bad that he somehow won. It's insane. But they actually believe that they actually had a good night in North Carolina. And you look at the down ballot results, yeah, you could maybe argue that maybe they did. I mean, everybody knows about the governorship. I mean, Mark Robinson crapped the bed, lost by 15. But they won the lieutenant governorship by roughly 2, attorney general by 3. All these races, yeah, you could argue they did okay in. They barely won these races. But for starters, outside the gubernatorial election, these were close races, especially the Supreme Court election. Look at this. We lost the race by 700 votes against an incumbent. That's it. That's not some 15-point victory. And these other races, it was by 2%, maybe 3%, if that. But you could argue the only reason Democrats won a bunch of these races was because of Mark Robinson shitting the bed. Down ballot, Mark Robinson did so bad that it more than likely did drag down Weatherman. It probably did drag down Dan Bishop, for example. That's what happened. And these idiots really think they did that. Oh, we did such a great job. No, it's because Mark Robinson had such a big scandal that you guys won by default down ballot. That's what actually happened. But they really believe they did a great job. Yeah, we won all these races down ballot. Congratulations. You won a random Secretary of State election or whatever. Which, by the way, people don't mention this about North Carolina, but a bunch of these down ballot races have been voting Democrat for, I'm not exaggerating, by the way, for over a century. I'm not kidding. The Secretary of State race that Democrats won by 2, which, by the way, is a big underperformance considering the fact that, hey, Mark Robinson shat the bed, and that dragged a bunch of Republicans down ballot. That's a fact. Because, yeah, everyone voted for Trump at the top of the ticket, but when you get to these lesser races, people will be like, wait, Mark Robinson had the scandal. Do I vote for this guy? I'm not going to vote. So that's a huge problem. But either way, this Secretary of State election has not gone Republican in the last 130 years. I think you have to go back to the 1870s to find the last time a Republican won this race. And you win it by 2. As the incumbent, with the top of the ticket, at least for the statewide races, having a big scandal. Good job. You did nothing. You just won by default. Same thing with the Attorney General race. Yes, there was a Republican in this position in the 70s for 5 minutes. He was appointed. But outside of that, they have not won a single Attorney General election in North Carolina since the 1870s or whatever. Man, what a great job. You won races that you have been winning for centuries now. How can anyone celebrate this? You did the bare minimum. Listen, if this was like Texas or whatever, okay, that's one thing. Like, you won a bunch of lower statewide races, fine, whatever. But this is North Carolina. It's a swing state, or again, kind of a swing state, more of a Republican-leaning state, but still. And these down ballot races, they go Democrat. because there are a bunch of ancestral Democrats still voting Democrat down ballot. That's what's going on. But these morons really think they had a great night. I mean, even the referendum, which, it's whatever, but there was a referendum in North Carolina, and look at that. The no for requiring U.S. citizenship to vote, it got 22%. That's it. I know Democrats, I don't think they actually sponsor the no vote, but still, even the one referendum, they got crushed in. The one referendum, the right clearly won. They absolutely killed Democrats on this issue. It was a bloodbath. These other races, meanwhile, they barely won. They barely won these races, especially the Supreme Court election. We all know what happened here. But still, you're going to pat yourself on the back for winning races that you have been winning for over 120 years. Wow. It's like if the Republicans in Utah or whatever celebrate the fact that, yeah, we won this random state legislative race that we have been winning for over 120 years. That's the same thing. It's the same logic. Just, it's insane that we're even talking like, oh, Democrats had a good night in North Carolina. On paper, maybe, but they are celebrating like they did it. Like they accomplished this huge blue wave. No, you barely won a bunch of these races by only like 2%. And that's because of a scandal at the top of the ticket. If it wasn't for Mark Robinson shitting the bed, I guarantee you, like over 70% of these races would have gone Republican. Maybe they would have still lost the attorney general race, maybe, who knows? But they're making it sound like, oh, the Republicans did so bad down ballot because Democrats did so good. You won by default. Congratulations. And the funny part about this is they're making it sound like North Carolina is shifting to the left. Like, oh, the North Carolina is becoming a Democrat state again, or a swing state. Well, look at this. Party registration, which I love looking at. Again, it's not everything, but it is a very good metric as to seeing how a state's trending. It's not everything, of course. A lot can happen, but I consider it to be the best metric out there. And look at that. Right now, in the state of North Carolina, Republicans have an advantage of over 91,000 voters. In 2024, Democrats led by 105,000. So in just like 9 months, there has been a net swing of just under 200,000 voters towards the GOP. In just 9 months. Just like in 2016, Democrats led by over 640,000. Now Republicans lead for the first time possibly ever. And in the month of July, okay, which should have been such a bad month for the GOP with all the Epstein stuff with the war in Israel, where Republicans were supposedly collapsing, Democrats still got out-registered by Republicans by over 1,000 voters. What a good job. You can't even win in voter registration, the one metric that you can use as proof of a surge. And yeah, the Democrat numbers went up a little bit, but there's no sign of this magical Republican collapse. This applies to every other state, but North Carolina especially. So what the hell are you celebrating? Why are you saying, we did such a great job? You won by default. Good job. Good for you. You won nothing of note. That was actually a real win. I consider a real win if Mark Robinson lost by 3 or 4 points and you swept all these other races. That's a different story. Like, okay, you did a good job. Fine. But it took a major scandal to barely win all these other races that you have been winning for over 100 years. And these other races, meanwhile, yeah, they voted Republican here and there, but outside of like 2 or 3 times, just like the other races, like Attorney General, it's been Democrat for a century. It's just sometimes Republicans won. So, yeah, the Democrat Party, they've learned nothing. It's not just the influencers, it's not just those people, it's even the leadership. They are patting their own backs saying, yeah, we had such a great 2024. Oh, How did he go for the top of the ticket? Trump won by 3.5%. Good job. You lost everything. But oh, we've won some random race that's been Democrat forever now. Good for you. I just can't get over this. This party is so incompetent, they're so delusional, that they are now celebrating 2024. And you wonder why I believe that 2026, it could be a blue wave, sure. But I'm not seeing it right now. The current metrics indicate that it might be a Democrat-leaning environment. But when you have leadership like this, saying this crap where they actually had a good night in 2024, it's proof that they're going to more than likely use 2024 as a blueprint. Just triple down the same crap, and somehow it's going to work this time. We'll see what happens, but man, this is the leadership of the Democrat Party. They have no clue what they're doing. They're so incompetent. I'm just shocked that this is real. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.